Good evening and welcome to the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station. I'm your host, Roman. We have a great show planned for you today, but first, the forecast from our IntellectualRadio.com Weather Center. Today, a winter weather advisory from noon today until noon tomorrow afternoon. Some sun, then increasing clouds and cold, snow developing up to 1 to 3 inches, high 20 degrees tonight. Periods of snow in the evening. Accumulation is 1 to 3 inches, cloudy and cold. Snowstorm totaling 2 to 4 inches, low 10 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy and very cold, high 22 degrees. Tomorrow night, cold, a little bit of snow on and off, accumulating to an inch of snow, low 17 degrees. Wednesday, snow in the morning, cold, snow moving into the area, 1 to 2 inches. In addition, high 26 degrees. I know Wanda is tired of snow. On Thursday, cold with a mixture of sun and clouds, high 21 degrees. And on Friday, cloudy, cold with a chance of snow, high 27 degrees. The Drive at 5 is also part of the new Monday night lineup, starting with a new show called at 4 p.m. called 40 Shades of Business Growth. Policy Matters with Jerry Brown at 6 p.m. New Black Leadership at 7 p.m. Black Community Unity at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. Chronicles of Rom, and the Mic Up at 10 p.m. Also, the Drive at 5 is also part of the fabulous 5 at 5, only on IntellectualRadio.com. Today, my guest via the intellectual line is the president of Guinea Community Association of Illinois and Iowa. Please give a Drive at 5 welcome. Let me see if I get his name right. Omar Telly Dello, correct?
Yes, Diallo.
Okay, Diallo. Welcome to the Drive.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Please give IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station your background.
Sure. Once again, I want to thank you for having me on your show, and thank your entire team. My name is Omar, as you mentioned, Omar Telly Diallo. I'm from Guinea originally. I've been living in Chicago since 2000. I went to Northeastern Illinois University, and I have a bachelor in political science with a concentration in international relations. And I also minor in African and African American studies and French. Those were my minors. And I'm the president of the Guinean community of Illinois and Iowa. It's a nonprofit organization. I was elected first in 2015, so I did my first term. Right now, I'm on my second term for another 2 years. So basically, that's it about me, and I'll be able to tell you more about our organizations, what we do, and who we are. And once again, thank you, and I want to thank all the listeners.
Okay, no problem. Explain to IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station the Guinean culture for a minute. It's Black History Month. I thought it'd be good to explore different heritage and cultures in Africa. So, what is the culture in the Guinean culture like in Africa?
Sure. Guinea is it's a small country in West Africa. 12 million people. It was a French colony, now independent. Guinea was the French independent colony in 1957. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit overview and geography about Guinea. Now, again, as I said, it's in the west coast of Africa. It's bordered by Ivory Coast, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia. That's in the south. Now, in the east, it's Mali, and the northern part is Senegal and Sierra Leone. So like again, it has 94,000 square miles. There are four geographic zones: the coastal maritime, the mangrove, the Lower Guinea, the Upper Guinea, and again, Guinea is like one of the we have the number one worldwide bauxite. So in the interior, we have the Fouta Djallon, which is the mountainous region. It has cool temperature. Again, that's what I could tell about Guinea. Or probably like, I don't know if you have any other questions. We have probably around 30 different languages that are spoken, but there are like 3 or 4 different main languages that are spoken in the capital, which is Conakry. It's Peul, Susu, Mandingo, and Gerze. Those are like the main different 4 languages that are spoken.
But you also have French, correct?
Yes, the official language is French. Yes, the official language is
so
French.
Your culture, the universal language is French because of the French colony back in the day, correct?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Now, why you think the Guinean community is growing in Chicago? We have a growing number of Guinean population here in Chicago. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, our organization was founded back in 2015. It's called the Guinean Community Associations of Illinois and Iowa. Again, it's a 501c3. It's a non-profit charitable organization that brings all Guineans together. Probably, I would say between Illinois and Iowa, we have over 5,000 Guineans. Again, what we do, we provide humanitarian services like necessary resources to help Guinean achieve success in integrations in America. So we also try to empower Guineans in general to kind of educate them and, of course, like put them with the right people, help them with immigration issues and stuff like that. So again, being part of this younger generation that kind of grew up in America, in Chicago, we felt like it's time for us to really get involved within the American culture. So that's how I started getting involved in school. That's how I started getting involved as a community organizer, and that's how I ended up being the president of the Guinean community.
What is the Guinean perception of how Blacks view Africans versus Africans view Black? It seems like that the African American community thinks that Africans are stuck up, are kind of like arrogant, very aggressive towards Black Americans, especially females. Can you explain in the view of Africans and their view of Blacks?
Wow, it's a very interesting question. I guess you and I talked about this off air several times. We had a very interesting debate and about this issue. Once again, most of it, again, before I dive into your question, I just want to let everyone know. I started as a community leader, as giving back to the community by doing an online radio show, the Voice of Africa News Show. It was a podcast, something similar that you're doing at the Intellectual Radio, Roman. Again, I want to give a shout out to you and your team. And then one of the best show that I've ever done is to talk about this issue, like the relationship between Africans and African Americans in the United States, like the stereotypes, the conflict, and the grudges between these two groups, and how it impacts the coexistence in adaptations of each other. Now, one of the things, I'm just going to go back a little bit and start probably how, most African Americans are descendant of enslaved Africans. Again, it's a stereotype. Some of the people, some of African Americans think of Africans sold their grandfathers. That's how they end up in America. So if they were not sold, they would not end up in America. Again, it's a stereotype. And it's not only a stereotype, but also it's a misconception that we have on each other. Like, again, it's not all African Americans, and it's not all Africans as well that have those type of a stereotype or misconceptions. You have some Africans who think of African Americans being violent, and you have some African Americans who think of Africans being probably primitive or still living in forest in Africa.
But they also, and let me interrupt, Africans view African Americans as lazy.
Right. Again, it's a stereotype. Some of them do, yes.
But how you fix the problem? Like your leader in your organization, if someone says, I view African Americans as lazy, what would you say to that woman or that child or that man?
Well, how we could fix the problem is communications, because again, a lot of things deal with misconceptions, and what is misconceptions is thinking of someone or something that is not necessarily true about the person. That's what misconception is. So like the way that I perceive you or think of you, those are misconceptions. Now, communications is important. Like Intellectual Radio, you guys have been doing a great show. And also relationship, we need to tie the relationship between African and African Americans, like in a higher level, community leaders, politicians, churches, mosques, and people just like you and I, different conversations that we have. Now, again, all these misconceptions didn't start today. It goes way back. It's beyond me, you, and I. Again, you have the media who contribute to these misconceptions. Again, if I say media, all sort of a media, television, because like one thing
but I mean, let me again stop you there. If you're saying it's the media, why like leaders such as yourself writing letters or saying, no, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to represent it. That's one thing that's not occurring. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. But like when I say the media, like you have, for instance, CNN, NBC5, like big media televisions that shows like bad side of Africa. Like when usually they talk about Africa, it's like, okay, people are hungry. With $2 a day, you could feed 30 or 35 people this part of Africa. Or you could have people walk over 3-4 miles to get a clean water, etc. So there are so many different examples when it comes to that. And then the other thing is African women as well. Like some of the other misconceptions is like most African American women think of Africans, the only thing they're probably good at is just to braid hairs, like the hair braid, because like as you know, most Africans are hair braiders, of course, but not all of them. Again, like communications would be a good tool. The media as well. Different organizations partnering together. Like for instance, we've partnered with the Rainbow Push Coalitions. recently we've done work with Senator Dick Durbin, our organization did. Like there have been several conferences within the city of Chicago, but there's still a lot more to do. One of the things that I'm very happy that you're doing this show, because it will get to the average listeners that have not access to certain type of information regarding these issues.
Now, before we get to national issues, we have some breaking news. Before we went on air, I did some research, and the research says that Cape Town is running out of water. They have 1 year before their water supply is wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
As president, and you have African connections, Cape Town is like the Mecca that people go to, travel destination. Their water supply is going to be obsolete. What's going on over there?
I'm not sure what's going on in Cape Town. Again, it's a huge it's a huge continent. I'm sorry I didn't do any research as you did, but all I could say about Cape Town, it's a very well known city in South Africa, part of South Africa, and it's a lot of tourists around the world go there. It's a very nice city. People go there to taste the wine, to visit. You know, it's like just a regular city like Chicago. It's very nice, and people go there. But as far as the water concerned, I'm not sure. I have not done any research, so I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
No problem. No problem. I just wanted to pick your brain because you have strong African ties there to the continent. So I thought you'll have some insight on what's going on in Cape Town.
Right.
Last week, the African nation held hearings in regards to not allowing Donald Trump entering any parts of Africa because of his comments of S-hole countries.
Right.
Your response to that, the hearing, do you think it's too little, too late for the response? And what are your thoughts about his S-hole comments?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's personally, we made a statement about his comment. Again, as I said, we were shocked but not surprised about his comments. And again, this is not the first time President Trump have said things about immigrants, about black, about women, handicap, you name it. So again, it's not the first time. And as we do all know, the USA is a national, is a nation of immigrants, and all of us are participating of building this country. So now, as I said on my interview, we are hardworking people. We pay taxes just like any other immigrants, and therefore that makes us contribute to the economy of this country. Now, as far as the leaders, African leaders concerned, as you said, it's a little too late. They should have send a strong message to President Trump. And by the way, we work with the Rainbow Push coalitions. We had with the Reverend Jesse Jackson, we had a press conference at Rainbow Push headquarters to kind of send a strong message to President Trump and let him know how we felt about his comments, calling African countries and Haiti shithole countries. He said worse thing about women. We've all heard what he said during the campaign. He said things about handicaps. he said things about African Americans. We've heard it, and again, as I said, I was shocked, but I was not surprised that he said what he said.
We're gonna have you back on the show at a future date in time because we're running out of time and we have plenty of questions to ask you. But I just want to pick your brain for a second. What are your thoughts on DACA and how it would affect the Guinean community?
Yeah, absolutely. We again, as I said, we want comprehensive immigration reform. Besides DACA, we also have the TPS. It's called the Temporary Protected Status. We want the Senate to find a way to help those, I wouldn't say kids, but the dreamers who is in a limbo right now. We're not sure what's going to become of them because now, like, we have until probably February 8th. President Trump is saying if there's no wall deal, he will not sign anything. And so far, I think the deal that to open the government was until February 8th or 9th, I believe, at midnight. So they have to find permanent solutions about the DACA recipients. There are a lot of kids. There are a lot of members of our community. There are also one of the things probably that I forgot to mention, well that I did mention earlier. That's one of it's called TPS. TPS is the temporary protected status. I mean, most of our people from it. What it is like since the 60s, the United States of America have given countries that were, I would say, not victim, like natural catastrophe, like just like Haiti, El Salvador, and several other countries have benefited from TPS. So now we've lost, the Guinean community have lost their TPS. It was because of the Ebola outbreak that happened in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone back in 2014. Yes, it started in 2013, yes. And it ended last year. So the Trump administration ended the TPS. Now, one of the things that I want to say, Roman, I'm glad that you have me on the show.
Okay, because we're running out of time, so go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I always mention that I've told you, there are not too many people advocating for African immigrants, and we need more people. We need more senators. We need more senators to advocate for African immigrants. Because when we talk about immigrants, usually they always talk about Hispanic or Asian immigrants, but not African immigrants. Even if there are, it's not enough. There need more information than more state leaders or politicians that could advocate for African immigrants. And thanks again for having me on your show.
No problem. And, you are listening to The Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station. On the intellectual line, we have the president of Guinea Community Association of Illinois and Iowa, Omar Telly Diallo, correct?
Yeah.
And please give IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station where they can get a hold of you if they want to talk to you or join your organization, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. They could visit our website is gcaii.org. Also, phone number is 773-552-7106. And the email is info@gcaii.org. Now, we're going to come to the studio again. I guess it's you launching the Black History Month. We promise we'll come to the studio and come to the Intellectual Radio and talk about, during 1 hour, about Guinea, what we do, about our culture. And also, the Roman, let's keep this conversation going, especially like this show. I want to emphasize on, um, again, this stereotype and misconception between African and African Americans. And if you let me, probably I'll be able to. I'm not sure if do you know who Booker T. Washington is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we can do that. You're coming back on the show. What we can do is we can iron out all the kinks and stuff off air, and yes, it will be a good history lesson. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, and you're gonna bring some Guinean food, which Earl and I really love. You know. All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you. Date to be determined. Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
When we come back on the Drive at 5 on the Intellectual iHeart radio station, unisex jewelry from Precious One Design, CEO Sherry Ewing. When we come back on the Drive at 5. And we're back on the Drive at 5 on intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station. Looking for some jewelry to coordinate with your everyday wear? What about astrology to style and profile? To assist us with all these accessories and give them the gods or whatever you have here, we have the one and only, please welcome to the Drive at 5, Precious One Design CEO, Sylvia Ewing. Welcome to the Drive.
Well, hello, Roman. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Sherry Ewing of Precious One Designs. I create handcrafted jewelry for men, women, and children, and home decor. I also do custom work All of my work is distinct, unique, and one of a kind, just like you.
Oh, you flirted with me. Go ahead.
Well, don't tell my husband now. Don't tell he's outside of the car freezing.
Okay, okay. Now, what was your inspiration for you to start creating jewelry?
I've always had a issue with color. People put together black and gray. I want black and purple. So whenever my mother or grandmother would have old jewelry or anything old that I can take apart, I would take it apart and put it together the way I felt it would look. When it came to earrings, I couldn't find anything that I liked. My ears aren't pierced. So back in the day, and I'm not going to tell you my age, earrings were only button earrings, the little flat ones. There was nothing cute and funky. So I would get buttons that came off my grandmother and mother's shoes because they were fashion divas back in the day. Find me some glue, glue it to a back of something, and try and figure out how to way to stick it to my ear. And actually, I was sticking it with tape. So
Did it help?
it did help. It did help because there wasn't anything cute out there. So I
Well,
decided that, since it isn't here and I need it, someone else probably would too. So I just started making jewelry.
so what was the response?
The response was great. A lot of other people do not have pierced ears. So my business is basically for people that don't have pierced ears, but for people that also like jewelry just a little bit out of the box, but refined at the same time.
Okay, you create healing stones with your jewelry. What is the response to your healing stones, and what type of healing stones does your stones provide?
Okay. Now I really am not I'm not a neuropath, so I just want to make
Okay,
that clear.
okay,
Don't want anybody to sue me or you.
okay, no
Okay.
problem.
But what I do is use stones that a statistic well in theory are supposed to be holistic. I use copper, that's supposed to be good for circulation. I use amethyst, and that's supposed to be good for calming down the nervous system. I use opal. Opal is just a shiny stone, but for some reason, the hue of it seems to relax people. So things like that, I try to incorporate in my jewelry because it was a request.
Period.
Period.
Now, more and more people are into astrology,
Mhm.
and now they are wearing it. Tell us about the astrology jewelry.
I have a line of earrings, necklaces, and bracelets with all the astrological signs. When on request, I can also pair them with the color of your birthstone. That is a hot seller right now. It sells out more than my custom beaded jewelry, and it was really a shock. I made a pair of earrings for myself, which I have on today. Someone asked me where I bought them from. I let them know that I'm the one who made them, and I got an order for 20 of them. And
And
it's just
and
been
what
selling like
what is
hotcakes. My astrological sign is Libra. So I
Libra?
like everything beautiful but calm.
Now, you also create necklace
Yes.
for neck wear, for
Mhm.
work, and after five wear.
Yes.
Now, tell us about that.
My after five wear is what I have in front of you
So
here.
go ahead and
Okay.
show it to us
Okay.
right here.
This is
We
a
got some earrings here, so
yes.
there you go.
I have a painted beaded choker. This is hand painted with it's highlighted with pink beads.
You can
It,
hold it up.
okay.
You can hold it. There you go.
The earrings are on pierced display because they're easier to display that way. But all of my jewelry can be on clip, obviously, because my ears aren't pierced either. This took about 5 hours because everything is beaded one by one. Very lightweight. All of my materials are nickel free and hypoallergenic.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting. And not only that, you also have like some beaded jewelry. So
Yes, I do.
so go ahead and explain what you have.
What I have today, this is a four-strand necklace. It's what's called chainmail. It's called chainmail because on the back side, it's held together with a collection of chain.
Hmm.
It's very lightweight, very fun, very flirty. I have the earring and the necklace. This is all a set. I also have this one here, and I call this my reversible set because you can. It's very nice and conservative on this side, but if you want to go out for the evening and get a little funky, all you have to do is turn it over, and voila.
Oh, it's kind of like the
Yeah,
the conservative and a party in the back.
absolutely, absolutely. Nobody has to know your business.
Right.
I also have a line of rings.
Okay.
These are pop-up rings, and this one also highlights my wire work. I do wire work on natural stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the stone represents?
That's called a sandstone. It's just a pretty stone that doesn't have any homeopathic remedies attached to it. It's just a nice stone. People like it. Some people want to believe that the red in it means fire. It gives you energy,
Hmm.
but it's just a very pretty painted stone.
Do you need their like ring size or finger size or
Well, with
something?
this one, it's a little bit adjustable,
Hmm.
but most of my rings are adjustable. I call these my pop rings. And these are adjustable because I was having an issue with ladies that could not fit the ring sizes because
Hmm.
their fingers were swollen because of illness or whatever. And so you can adjust those ring sizes. Um, this is called a sandstone. This is also an adjustable ring and it's on a copper base.
This right here is a
Yes,
sandstone.
yes.
Okay, go ahead and describe the
Okay.
sandstone.
It's yellow with little highlights of brown. So it makes you think of being out in the Sahara somewhere because of the levels of the ripples that are in the stone. That is on a copper base and it is adjustable.
Hmm. Okay.
Now,
And what's the large stone over there?
now these are honestly just pebbles.
Pebbles?
They're just pebbles.
Okay.
And I just thought they looked
And,
pretty and they
and
should
it's
be a
like a
ring.
mirror pebble.
Yes.
Okay.
And it will pick up the color of wherever you're at. Even though that one is black in your hand, if you go someplace that's blue, it'll have a blue hue. If you go someplace and you have a lot of red, it'll have a red hue. And it seems to be that's also a hot seller also.
Oh, cool.
Hmm.
And actually, you can
Hmm.
wear it
It's a
anywhere. Yeah, you can
right.
wear it anywhere.
It's reflective.
Now, you also have something beaded
Yes.
and the beaded bracelets.
Now
And
this is my men's line, since fellas are always saying that they're left out.
yes, I'm one of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's what you guys always say. So I made sure I didn't leave you out this time. And I appreciate you because you do buy. So this is all of these bracelets are wood. This is a
Okay.
wood bracelet. I beaded it in the center, gave it a different hue. It's brown and black. It can go with anything. I have another one here.
And you can wear it with anything,
Anything.
like,
And they're stretch wire, so it can
okay,
fit anyone's wrist. And ladies, if you like it, I do have ladies that purchase them also
okay.
because they're very different. And all of my work is one of a kind.
So, any like the beads have like meanings or something like that, like,
No, not
no?
at all.
You can wear it
You
with
can wear
anything,
anything.
anything.
You can wear it. You can wear it corporately, or you can wear it if you're going to a hip hop party.
So it's like more Afrocentric.
Um, I don't like to use that term because it puts you in a box, and I am not one to be in a box. It puts you in a box. Well, I will say that it's appealing to your eye if that's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Now, I also do some leather work. Now, this is
Okay.
just a leather, what they call macrame, because it's knotted. It's a
Hmm.
series of knots that are holding the string together. It's a loose fit on the end, so in case someone wants it looser or tighter, they can do so.
Hmm.
Okay. And for my Tauruses out there, I had a request. They said that they didn't have anything that would represent them. So I found you fellas a bull charm.
Oh, wow. Look at that. So if you're a Taurus,
If you're a Taurus, that one's for you.
wow. And it got the little birthstone, right?
Hmm.
Wow. Now, do you have a hard time finding the birthstones? No.
No, the only time you have a hard time finding them is in the end of the year. I guess because people are giving them as holiday gifts.
Hmm.
That's the only time. But normally they're all over the place. They're different price ranges. And they're different colors. People think of turquoise as only being green. Well, turquoise comes in pink, it comes in yellow, it comes in purple. People need to really understand that jewelry is just a statement. It's like hair, it's just a statement. It doesn't mean that's who you are 24/7. It's just how you feel at that moment. And lastly, I would like to show you I have a braided bracelet.
And this is
At
for
this,
men.
right, and that is tiger's eye that's in the center.
Wow. This is nice.
Thank you.
I might steal this even though it's not my sign.
Oh no, this is all stretch.
Oh,
It
yeah?
fits anyone's wrist.
Okay.
Therefore,
So anything for Geminis?
um Yes, I do, but I put that away because somebody said that they wanted it. So I wanted to make sure that it was there, because otherwise it would be gone and I would be booted out of the station. And I want to be invited back.
Explain the other ones that you have here. We got a little bit more time. You have a watch
Yes,
bracelet here for women.
for women. Actually, I have two.
Okay.
And these are just beaded bracelet. It's turquoise beads with mother of pearl. And that is somewhat adjustable. I do sizing. If it's too big, I can take it apart just a little bit to make it sizable, but it is a way of looping it around if it's too large for your wrist.
Wow,
And
this
then I
is
have
amazing.
one that I made for the holidays, and everything is one of a kind work. So if you purchase it from me, you won't see it anyplace else, and if you do, you need to let me know so I can contact an attorney. And that's another one, just beaded.
Okay, cool. So, how long does it take you to make custom made jewelry?
It depends on my mood for the day. This particular piece I made this morning. I saw these laying around, and this is all metal work.
And this is,
Those are earrings, and this is a bracelet.
wow.
And the bracelet is a unisex bracelet. All metal hoops. It was just things that I had left over from other projects. I had these pieces still available that I used part of it for another project.
Mhm.
And my mind just said, put them together. So sometimes that's how our artist mind works. It's not anything that you necessarily plan. I get up in the middle of the night. If I have a thought, I have to put the colors together. I might not make the piece at that time,
Mhm.
but I at least have to place a pull what I want to go with it.
So you have another pair of earrings over there,
Yes, I do.
and you got,
This is for my ladies that are deltas. They've been buying me out of my red, so now I got to let them know when I get home. I got something else new, and that's another piece that was also made last night. So it was pieces left from another project that I did. I'm trying to do inventory at the same time. I'm like, okay, let me make something with this. So I don't have to put it back up. And so everything is, like I said, one of a kind, adjustable, hypoallergenic, and nickel free.
cool. And you just be busy all over the place, huh?
I am, because my day job I have to be all nice and conservative because I'm a
Why?
reimbursement specialist. But at night I do funky stuff like this.
Okay, and what you have right here.
And I made this before I left the house today.
And how long did it take you?
It took me about 20 minutes.
20 minutes for this?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Yes, it
Okay.
was the 20 minutes I should have done my nails, but I digress.
So tell us if anybody is interested, how they can get a hold of you. Matter of fact, you got one right here that caught my eye.
Okay.
This one right here.
Okay,
Can
now
you
for
briefly describe?
Valentine's Day, this is a stretch bracelet. It's hearts,
This is,
and that's wood.
so this is for Valentine's Day,
Mhm.
right
Yes.
here. Okay, and it's
Mhm.
made of hearts.
It's made of hearts, and it's all wood, and I have matching earrings also. It is
Mhm.
also a stretch bracelet. It can fit any size. It just slides on, and this is what it looks like on. It fans out like a flower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you can wear it anytime.
You can wear it at any time.
Okay.
Wear it after 5, or if you like me in your house here while you're out there jacking your body, let it go. It's a stretch bracelet. It's not going to go flying anywhere, so you're safe. You're safe.
Well, thank you so much.
You're
See, it
welcome.
wasn't that bad. See
No.
how easy and
It
flowy
really
you yeah.
was.
So
Oh.
tell if anybody is interested
Mhm.
of purchasing, let's say the guy bracelet
Mhm.
or anything that they see here
Mhm.
or others,
Mhm.
where they should go to, how they can get in contact with you, and basically let them know how they can get a hold of you. If
Okay.
not, where website you can go.
Okay, I can always be reached at Facebook either under my name, Sherry Ewing, that's SherryEwing, or you can go to my business page on Facebook, which is Precious One Designs, or you can go to my website, which is preciosonedesigns.com, or you can reach out to me on Etsy, which is www.etsy.com/shop Precious One Designs. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, Roman.
Oh, no
And
problem.
I hear your Gemini is safe and sound.
Yeah, you got my other stuff too.
Mhm.
And good news, Earl, because I saw you perking up and stuff like that. You can choose one of the men's bracelet and
Yeah.
one to two behind the
Okay,
scenes.
okay.
And That's going to do it for us on the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com. Thanks to Earl Winfrey, our executive producer, Wanda, who is behind the scenes. Thank you so much. You guys have a nice day and a nice week. See you next week.